Hi, everybody. It's me, Jessica, your health fitness program manager from McLean, and I'm looking forward to doing my best to enjoy some movement with you all today. Currently, I am recovering from my very first bout of COVID. I'm proud of myself that I've made it this long. I, I know that many of you have already found yourself in the position of recovering, and it's likely that we'll have to all find ourselves here uh, now or at some point. Okay, so basically, we're just going to try and move a little bit today. That's the goal. And let's go ahead and get started. All right, so as per usual, starting with my favorite move, a nice little lateral side to side step tap. Adding in a couple of gentle shoulder rolls right here while it's still happening. I'm even gonna start the timer so I have some sense of an idea of how long we've been here. Don't get upset about it, Brett. Don't get All right. So still just giving yourself some nice lateral side to side step taps and shoulder rolls. If you're doing the same direction, change direction of those shoulder rolls. Let's get four more last. Four, three, use up as much space as feels good for you today. One, awesome. Take a moment, just shake it out. We're just going to come into a march. If you're feeling really great today, then you don't need to keep things toned down. If you're ready for something a little bit extra, we're going to add some forward and backward movement to our marching. Just finding that little extra bit of movement, the swinging of your arms, it's going to start to help you get your heart rate up. And it's really up to you. How much are you working to bring your heart rate up? What kind of energy do you have today? Maybe you're just sticking with a slower, more gentle march. And remember, you can take as many breaks as you need to, because I will take the liberty of taking breaks as I need to today as well. Awesome. Let's do just about 15 more seconds of these marching moves. I'm going to stay right here in place for these last 15 seconds. I washed my yoga mat over the weekend. It is not 100% dry. That's okay. Let's go ahead and get some sort of jumping jack motion. So whether you're keeping it really slow with me and you're just reaching those arms up overhead, maybe even this side reach overhead, bless you, Uncle Bob, feels like a little bit too much. So perhaps you're just reaching your fingers up towards the center. It can be a little bit easier on the body. That's right. We're starting to challenge our balance. Let's keep this motion up for about 30 seconds. If you can add in a little bit more of a hop, please go for it. Add in more of a hop. But if you're just finding some sort of movement, that's still really amazing. Last, 10 seconds right here. Great. Go ahead, open your feet nice and wide, wider than shoulders width distance apart. Open your arms nice and wide. Let's inhale both of those arms up overhead. Try and find some lift from your waist, not just shoulders coming towards your ears. Allow your right hand to relax down. Big reach over to the right side of the room. Feel that stretch on the left side of the body. Inhale, arms up, left hand down. Great. Back up through center. One more time, each side. Next up, we're going to take a forward fold. If you're feeling really tight, if the floor feels really far away, you don't have to make it all the way down towards the floor. You can even bring your fingers down to a chair. So with your hands either on a chair. I wish my chair didn't make me turn my back towards you. Let's bring my hands to the couch. That seems like a way better idea. So here with hands on the couch, you can still enjoy a flat back. So we're trying to take this rounding out of their backs. It can feel really uncomfortable. Think about pulling your chest forward just a little bit. You can still enjoy the same thing with hands down on the floor if you take that generous bend of your knees, just to avoid this spacious rounding right here. So taking that generous bend of the knees, bringing belly towards thighs and hands either on your chair or on your couch or on the floor, or just grabbing hold of the opposite elbow. Take a moment right here to just carefully shake your head. Yes. Carefully shake your head no. Shift weight back into your heels. If it came to the balls of the feet, slowly roll yourself up. Awesome. We're going to come into our first round of movement, starting real slow today, being really gentle and mindful that recovery takes time. You might not be feeling 100%. We're going to grab a quick sip of a beverage. Got a little warm beverage. Got a little cold beverage. It's just trying to stay hydrated. All right. So our first move of today is going to be some calf raises. Calf raises. And if you find that you're still just laying around in your bed, if you really don't have energy yet, you can do these same just points and flexes with your feet to start to feel a little bit better. So let's start with our first 40 seconds of movement. If you need to, you can place your hand on something. Just want to make sure that you can still see my feet. We're going to press up onto the balls of the feet and then just lower ourselves down. Well, let's go ahead and get started. So if your balance is feeling, pardon me, really off, having your hands on a dresser, on the countertop, on a chair. And if you don't feel like you need that extra little bit of assistance, you try the same thing. Maybe you notice it's a little bit harder. I'm really trying to keep the big toe pressed down to the floor as well, so I'm not rolling towards the outer edges of the feet. Having your hands on a prop can take a break and really help with that. All right, so you got 20 seconds to just bring in any sort of stretches that feel good for you. I'm kind of taking a counter stretch in the opposite direction. Got a lot of counter stretches that are going to come your way today, but between some of our movements. Let's go ahead and get these calf raises one more time. Here we go. So hands on the dresser for a little bit of balance, equally working to press through all of the ball of the foot. So not rolling towards just the pinky toe, not just pressing that big toe down. This is the last time we're going to do calf raises like this. So if you want to challenge yourself, see what kind of height, range of motion you can find while you're not holding on to something for balance. We're just here to do our best to find some movement today. All right, awesome. Take that little counter stretch. Now that we've gotten our ankles, our calves a little bit more warmed up with our calf stretches and with our marching, and work a little bit more into the hips. So we're going to go for a big knee drive and pull, and then lower it down. We're going to stick with one side the whole time. Let's go for it. So planting one foot firmly towards the ground, pull that other knee up, and then carefully lower it back down towards the floor. Maybe you're not even actually taking hold of your knee. Maybe you're just working to lift it up, getting that little squeeze of the glute, taking your time. So you notice I'm not using my exhale to just send that knee really high. Personally, I have found that the just pain in the joints, in the hips, in the glutes, it's been really challenging lately. All right, take a moment, shake it out, and shake it out with a couple of hip circles. hot baths and massage guns. Been my best friend for the past week now. All right, we got one more time through of this movement on the opposite side. Let's do it. So if you need to, you can still have a hand, something for balance. Both sides of the body are not the same. Or maybe you're helping to pull that knee up. Maybe you're even adding in a little bit of a back bend right here. Oh, oh my gosh. I think one of the hardest things about testing positive and making it through this, pardon me, is it's hard. Hard. Just doing our best. Take a break. We're just doing our best. All right. So we're feeling a little bit more warmed up in the hips and ankles. We're going to challenge cardio just a little bit. We've got some running in place. Now, if you, like me, are actually still on the recovery journey, I cannot run in place. I cannot. I can do my best to either just find this continuous knee drive. You're going to start off a little bit easier in round one and just tap a tap a tap. So a little bit less of a challenge, but I'm still going to move my opposite arm and opposite leg at the same time. Standing ground that's on the floor, weight is in your heel. Check in for a moment with your hips too, because you don't want to be doing this all cocked out weird towards the sides. So get your two hips in one line, square your chest forward. We're just going to tap a tap a tap. And if you don't need to tap a tap a tappa, you are quietly tapping that back toe down towards the floor. But we've all got a slight bend in our standing leg. We start in 3, 2, 1, begin. And if you need to, you can still have your hands right over here for a little bit of balance. Or we're just quietly tapping forwards and backwards. So there shouldn't be a lot of pounding sound of that toe touching down towards the floor, either forward or back, and you're moving at the speed that feels right for your body today. Can you keep your chest lifted here? So a little lift and pride in the chest. Equally grounding through that standing foot on the floor. 2, 1, take a break. Awesome. Just going to shake it out. This is our last standing move of the day. We're going to do one more time on that right side, and then we're going to get 2 times on the left side. You can stick with the same exact move that you just did, or you can challenge yourself. Maybe instead of doing these tappas, we've started, you're going for that exhale knee drive, a little bit more challenging. Maybe you're adding a hop in or adding in just a press onto your toes. Ooh, that is significantly harder. I am not ready for the hop, but I can challenge myself right here for this quiet knee drive and toe tap on the floor behind me. Or at least I could start to. All right, and come back to some tappas. Take a moment, shake it out. We're going to switch to the opposite side. So remember, you're making this move your own. It can be as intense as you want to. It can be all knee drives and then hops. It can be all taps. Let's do it. I'm going to start off gently on this side, getting in just those taps. Thinking about also what's happening, making sure I'm not cocking my hip oddly, keeping the chest nice and lifted, quiet with the tap of the feet. Focusing on the grounding of the standing leg, foot to the floor. Just about 10 seconds left here. Round 3 of 4. First time through on this second leg. 3, 2, 1. Oh, take a moment, shake it out. This is our last standing move. Last standing move. Then we'll get a nice stretch down on the floor. Goodbye, Uncle Buck. Ready? In 3, 2, 1. Pull that core in. Either tapa, 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 nice and quiet. Slight bend in your standing, stabilized leg. Lots of weight in your heels. Whew, chest is lifted. Get those arms going. The more that you're using your upper body too, the more intensity you add here, the more that heart rate's going to climb. Ooh, remember, every day is different, everyone. What can your body do today? Challenge yourself appropriately. All right, we're making our way down to the floor. One thing I am so proud of this past week is I just kept doing my best, I live alone, so I tried to put a good spin on it. But like I had to take the dog out. I had to take the dog out. So I tried to keep a happy, healthy face for Uncle Buck. But that helped me to get some movement in, and I always think that movement is medicine. Definitely think it helped me feel better. All right, so let's bring our hands to the floor. Let's come into tabletop. Oh my gosh, give yourself a couple cat cows right here. Take 1 minute to take your time. Just stretch some things out. Oh my gosh. Next up, we're going to do some bird dog. Let's once again stick with one side for 2 rounds and then the other side for 2 rounds. The idea is that by sticking with one side for a little bit longer, we have more time to get into that muscle group to tire it out a little bit. But remember, if you need to take a break before the 40-second end, okay, let's go ahead and do this. So, Fred, you like that shoebox? So the most basic version of this move is opposite arm and opposite leg. We're going to move together. You're going to work to create as much length as you can, really stretching from your toes to your fingers. And then if you can challenge your balance, work to bring your elbow and knee together. Stretch it back out. Let's go ahead and get started. So push into that hand palm that's on the floor. Make sure you're not sinking into your shoulders. Find a little bit of rounding as elbow and knee come together to touch. Find that length. And then if you need to, you can lower everything down. We've started. So either you're going straight from pushing it out to bringing it in and then pushing it out and just staying balanced right here, or you're taking an extra second to reset to lower everything down and then begin again. Oh my gosh, I don't know if y'all can see Fred. 3, 2, take a break. She's having a great time with the shoebox. Thanks for supporting us. All right, we got one more time through. Same arm, same leg is going to get moving. Now's another opportunity for you to just enjoy some cat-cows between each of these rounds and start right now. So same arm, same leg moving. Find that length. Work to really squeeze your glute to lift your heel, to have that heel as in line to your glute and upper body as possible. Each time you find that length, make sure you're not sinking into that arm on the floor. Oh my gosh. We're working that back right now. We're working your back. We're getting a little bit of ab work in here as well. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Take a break. Take your 20 seconds. I'm going to give some love to my very tired wrists. And then we just got to do the opposite side. 2 times through on the opposite side. A little bit of back engagement, a little bit of core work. Start to set yourself up and let's go. Make sure you're not sinking into your planted hand palm shoulder. Use that exhale to squeeze, lift your heel. keep your eye gaze gently forward. Try not to have too many wrinkles in your neck. Try not to have too much rounding in your neck, especially when you have elongated everything. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Take a break. We got one more time, same side, and then we'll take a nice long child's pose stretch. 3, 2, 1. Begin. So I know these moves seem really simple to many. I'm finding them really challenging right now. So it truly is all about perspective. What can your body do today? If you feel like these moves are easy today, that's awesome. I look forward to feeling that strong again soon. And I know that by taking the time, by making these little challenges, I'm going to get there. Awesome. Both knees down towards the floor. Open them as wide as you want. Bring your toes together. Send your glutes back towards your heels. Walk your hands forward. Relax your head down towards the floor. You can take a generous bend of your elbows here. You can even bend your elbows for a little praying mantis stretch and bring your fingers back to give yourself a nice neck massage. Take a couple more breaths here. Great. Next up, we've got some pulling practice. If you're feeling good today and you can do a 40-second plank, get right into doing your 40-second planks. But if you're working on building that strength back up, I've got you. All right, so we're going to start once again in tabletop. We're building up towards our plank here. So round one, there's not really a real plank happening. From tabletop, you're going to step one leg back. Whichever leg you stepped back, that hand's going to stay on the floor. We're just going to open up into a very modified like plank hip opener of sorts. We're just going to alternate between stepping one leg back and stepping the other leg back. Now, if you want a little bit more, you can have one leg forward and step it back and actually be passing through from your plank into a hip opener. But otherwise, we're just going to pass through from this modified tabletop to a step back and a twist in 3, 2, 1. So stepping one leg back, that hand is staying on the floor, taking a moment before I open up to squeeze through the glutes, to square the chest, to engage the upper back, and then take this nice little twist. And the left hand comes down, the right leg comes in, left leg goes out, press into the ball of the foot, squeeze the glute, inhale, right arm up. Awesome. So we're just working towards creating a little bit more opening, creating some space, moving a little bit of the lymph, starting to challenge the balance a little bit. Great. Let's take a break. All right. So you can do that same thing, or we're going to make it a little bit more challenging. We're going to start to actually come into a plank. So this time, stepping one leg back, we're going to lift the opposite knee off of the floor and then bring that leg back in, and opposite leg steps out. Let's do it. So one leg steps out. You can even keep the opposite ball of the foot down on the floor and just press, lift that knee up for a second, bring it back in. Send the other leg out, tuck the ball of the foot in, press up, and lower down, or making it a little bit more challenge. You're just going to lift that knee up completely off of the mat. Really think about engaging that upper back. That's why we did those bird dogs first, to feel what it feels like to press your hands, palms into the floor, to not sink down into your shoulders here. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. All right, so you can stick with those same two moves. We just did two great modifications working towards that plank. We're going to add an option for a little bit more shoulders, going from down dog, shifting forward into a plank. So maybe you need to just go from child's pose and then bring it forward into tabletop. That's one option. We're getting started right now. So just child's pose into a little forward shifted tabletop where hips are coming up towards the ceiling. You can have that generous bend of your knees and then shifting the weight forward. Keep going, keep going. The timer has started. Keep coming back to engaging through that upper back. And remember, if you need to, you can always plant your knees back down towards the floor. And come back into these delightful child's poses into bringing it forward like you're setting yourself up for the plank. All right, we got one more round. In this last round, I'm going to recommend that we try a little bit of bear. So we'll do a combo going from down dog, shifting the weight forward, walking knees in, walking legs out, back to down dog. Let's do it together. So from down dog, you can bend your knees, shift your weight forward. Walk those knees in, they hover right above the floor. Walk those legs back out. And then press back up into your down dog. And if you want to hang out in any of these for a little bit longer, you're welcome to. We're more than halfway through this very last interval of our plank portion. And then we get to lay down on our backs. 3, 2, awesome. Walk your feet towards your hands before we lay down on our backs. Let's get a big stretch into these hamstrings. Take a generous dangle. So we're coming back into that dangle form. Remember, if the floor feels really far away, you can have your hands on a chair right here so you feel a little bit more supported. Otherwise, belly comes towards your thighs. Oh, take a moment, shake your head, yes. Shake your head, no. Take a little rounding through your back. Think about wrapping those shoulder blades a little bit forward. Awesome, and make your way down the mat. The last of the moves for today is dead bug. So similar to the bird dog that we already did. And of course, we're going to do dead bug a couple different ways. All right. Woo. So making our way into tabletop. We're going to get started by just pressing your knees against your hands and your hands against your knees so that your lower back is going to fire up. Ooh. Let's just do that for the first 40 seconds. In 3, 2, 1, here we go. So every exhale, really push your hands into your knees and knees into your hands. And every inhale, you can relax a little bit. But you should notice with every exhale that you're taking that rounding out of your lower back, that presses a little bit more down towards the floor, but there's even that slight little tilt of your pelvis. Ooh, firing up those abs. Awesome. Take a break. Take a break. Great. So now we're going to keep that pressure from one side and the opposite side is going to move. You can keep that leg bent to keep things a little bit easier, or you can even extend through your heel. Oh my gosh. I'm going to keep my leg bent. This time trying to actively keep that lower back pressed down on the floor the whole time. So no taking a break. If you need to take a break, come back to that first move that we did where you're exhaling and really pressing your hands into your knees and knees into your hands. And then you take a break on the inhale, where we're sticking with a little bit of continuous movement, same side, arm and leg, Ooh, are moving right now. Lower back is still really glued down towards the mat. Take a break. All right, next up, we're going to get the opposite side, arm and leg moving together. Melt your back into the floor. Find your pressure inside, and here we go. I'm just being a little kind to myself today, keeping that other leg bent. Ooh, keeping that lower back down on the mat as well. Feeling some trembling in those legs right now. Oh, take a break, take a break. This last round, we're going to go for opposite arm, opposite leg working. You can still keep that leg bent, but right arm and left leg are going to move. Left arm and right leg are going to move. Bring yourself into your reverse tabletop, lower back press down on the floor. Here we go. Opposite arm, opposite leg. I like these. They're nice total body move. We're getting the abs. We're getting a little bit into the hips, depending on if you're straightening your legs. Excuse me. A little bit more total body action with this lat pullover also. Normally I love to do this one with weights as well. One day at a time, right? Maybe this, I'll take a break, release knees towards the floor, open knees nice and wide, take a nice one chill break. Maybe these gentle movements today are the building block that we really need. We're just creating a foundation of fitness every day. Hopefully is a little bit easier, a little bit better. Awesome. Stretch your arms nice and wide towards the side. Allow your legs to fall to one side. You can either bring your knees together or keep them separated for whatever version of a spine twist feels good for you. Inhale, knees back up to center. And exhale, drop the legs to the opposite side. Great. Well, we built a number of our stretches in amongst the movement that we did today. I hope that you feel better than when we got started. Different, a little bit more open, any of the above. All right. Well, thank you so much for bearing with me today, for joining me, for anyone else who's on the road to recovery. Take it easy on yourself. Take your time. We're going to get there together. Thank you so much for showing up today. I look forward to seeing you again on Wednesday and also on Friday. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday and a great start to the week.